Here we are. Just arrived at Anderson Falls. We have some railing, a little shack, and some bathrooms. Here's the Raging Falls. It's a 14-foot waterfall. And I imagine after a good rain, it probably gets going pretty good. Pretty tall bank. I don't see any grass that's really laid down, except for on the main bed. Pretty peaceful. Lots of leaves in the water. Beautiful foliage on. It's October 16th today, 2012. Haven't seen any of the fauna yet, but they're probably seeing me. Looks to be a pretty gradual slope there. So there's a terrace, here's a terrace, and then finally a pretty large fall. But there gets to be some soil on top of the rocks here. And then there's some pooled still water over here. There's some sign of some anthropogenic meddling. Lots of moss on the rocks. Just kind of a thin layer of probably just sediments that have been flushed down. Pooled water, like for example this here, unless there's cavities underneath, it was from a previous time water got high. I've seen lots of species of deciduous tree. I've seen quite a few weedy type, some typical grasses, some broadleaf, lower canopy type plants. I've seen some birds flying around, but still haven't found any land animals, so we'll see. Well, it appears that at one time they were displaying a certain plant species here. There is information posted at Anderson Falls regarding flora and fauna. I will verbally summarize the plaques found at the site. However, feel free to pause the video and read them in their entirety if you wish. Throughout geologic time, there has been much waxing and waning of glaciers over Indiana. This recurring glaciation, coupled with changes in climate, have altered the composition of forests, including the forest here at Anderson Falls. After glaciers leveled the spruce, fir, and birch that once were found in the area, ecological succession took place, and the area went through an oak-hickory stage and finally to a beech maple stage. However, due to extensive deforestation during European colonization of the area in the 1800s, succession had to begin again, this time due to anthropogenic forces, not natural climatic cycles. The area is now in the oak-hickory stage of ecological succession and, if allowed to be undisturbed, will return to a beech-maple climax forest. One group of these oak-hickories enjoy rich, deep soils and well-drained hilltops. A second group prefers rocky, sandy areas where there is less competition for light and nutrients. By pioneering these areas, these trees enrich the soil and stabilize steep banks. Beech and maple saplings are shade tolerant, which aids them in their survival as understory plants. They will eventually return to being the dominant species when they grow taller and thus shade out the sun-loving oak and hickories. The diets of prehistoric Indians near the site included the fruits of the pawpaw, persimmon, and wild grapes, some of which still populate the property. European pioneers in the area 150 years ago told of seeing wild turkey, bear, panther, wildcat, otter, and the passenger pigeon. These settlers deforested the area to create agricultural fields and hunted the area extensively, resulting in the elimination of many of the aforementioned species. However, these woods still are home to deer, raccoon, fox, skunk, opossum, squirrel, and birds, including songbirds, woodpeckers, and hawks. There are quite a few of these flowers in bloom. Look up this way, some in there, and just right along the trail. So I don't know if there's something significant about that. Lots of lower tier broadleaf. And then of course the canopy is still pretty full, but probably another couple weeks and they'll get a lot more sun down here. There are some fairly large trees. And there's a slight stream bed right here. So imagine once it gets raining, it probably flows pretty decently right there. Probably a difference of 40 feet elevation. Funnels into the creek just right back where we were. Well, I just heard something. Oh, here we go. We had some rustling over here. Let's see if we can keep our eyes peeled.